Hi, folks. Okay, we made it all the way to level 2. It just says the prosecution calls its next witness to the stand. We missed that part, but we didn't really miss anything else. So, all right, hit return and good luck.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is the second witness. Well, apparently she's Lisa Lamborghini.
Doll face.
Are you gonna voice her?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. What did your diary say?
What?
I don't know if I don't think I explained the best evidence rule. The best evidence rule is not something that's even really much used in courts today. It basically says that you shouldn't use. It's primarily saying you shouldn't use copies of things or testimony about documents. So in this case, he's asking, "What does your diary say?" That shouldn't be a court question. If anything in the diary is of interest, it should be admitted as an exhibit, as evidence. They shouldn't just ask her. So almost any question like this that asks, what did this document or what did that written record say, usually violates the best evidence rule, because the actual written record itself should be evidence and not just, you shouldn't take somebody's word for it. So, okay, violates the best evidence rule. Sustained. Were you personally acquainted with Sandra Stiff?
She was my close friend.
Alright, that's a proper question. Were you ever arrested? That's irrelevant. Any questions regarding somebody's prior criminal history are not relevant in this case. You can always say that that's an irrelevant question, or almost always. How long have the two of you bounced about? I'm assuming that means how long have you known each other, but that's a bit of a, clearly it's considered a vague question. What did your own attorney tell you? Privileged information. Can't ask what your lawyer told you. Tell us, please, how long have you and Sandra been friends?
For about 9 years.
Okay. What lies can you tell us about your relationship to the to the defendant? Yeah, it's an argumentative question. I don't think that I guess a blackmail notice is admissible as evidence, but asking her about it again violates the best evidence rule. Were you ever personally acquainted with the defendant?
Yeah, I know the rodent.
Okay. Isn't it true that some people lied for the defendant? That's a leading question. What's the story? Sometimes he asks ridiculously worded questions like, what's the story? Or, what's up? That's a bit...
Not being very lawyery.
Yeah, I mean, what's the story on the defendant's role in this nasty situation? I mean, what kind of answer are you supposed to give? It's not really, it's a vague question. All right. Okay, hearsay. What did you hear about the actions of the defendant at the party? That's a hearsay question. Did the defendant have okay. You have to be careful with this one because there's a similarly worded question that says, do you know of any reason why the defendant would want to kill Sandra? But just somehow the wording of this, did the defendant have a strong basis? Somehow just the wording of this makes it a little bit different, so it calls for a conclusion.
I guess the conclusion is that he does have a basis, and he's asking if there's a strong one.
Yeah, there's a very similar question which basically says, do you know of any reason why he might want to have murdered her? So, gotta be careful. Okay, here we go. Here's a legitimate question.
She jilted the bum at the altar.
Okay, so why would the defendant have reason to kill Sandra if you know? Okay, so she jilted, so basically, romance gone wrong or whatever. At the last minute she backed out of getting married. Okay.
I'm offended.
Sometimes he asks questions like, what kind of dress were you wearing at this party or something like that. I don't think I've ever seen him ask questions like, what are you wearing under that dress, but I wouldn't be surprised if questions like that are in the game. Okay.
When we were not recording and trying to do the first testimony again, the guy asked the what was it, the mortician? The coroner, if he enjoyed cutting up young girls for a living.
Did you enjoy learning to cut up young girls for a living? Alright. Let's move on. Did Sandra ever tell you that the defendant hated her? Is that a... it calls for hearsay. There's a thing in the game called a hearsay exception, in which certain types of hearsay are permissible, so I was hoping that that's a hearsay permission, but it is not. Okay. Do you know when the defendant began... Okay, that's assumes... This question assumes that the defendant began lusting after Sandra. Assumes we have not established that fact in this testimony, so I objected for that reason and it was sustained. Okay, the wording seems like it's it's not appropriate, like it's not very formal, but did you go to Sandra's party?
I'm invited, but had other plans.
Okay, so she didn't go. Did you hide the murder weapon? What?
Unestablished fact. Oh.
It's privilege?
What?
I'm not sure I understand that. Sometimes the categories that these questions fall into is a little, I mean, okay, never mind.
Got a pretty good score, though.
I think we did pretty well. Alright, were Sandra and Lisa ever sorority sisters? We don't know. Unknown. That's correct. Did Lisa tend to speak highly of the defendant? No, and she keeps calling him a rat and what did she call him this time? I forget.
I think a bum?
Yeah, I think so. She has so many...
rodent.
Again, yeah, rodents. They keep changing it. Each time you play the game through, they change it, but basically she never likes the defendant. So did she speak highly of the defendant? No. And finally, did the murder take place inside the mansion? I don't think we ever...
We don't know.
I think that's unknown. Good work! You did well! The prosecution calls its next witness to the stand. Alright. I guess we'll probably do one witness per video. That sounds about right to me, because we're already more than halfway through this video, so we probably wouldn't... I don't want to cut the testimony short mid-video, so I'll go ahead and just call it quits for now. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.